I request Mr. Mahapatra to commence his session.
All right, good morning. I hope I'm allowed to take off my mask while speaking. All right, so this is an honor and pleasure to be back here. And I have come to Garden City University a number of times before. This is a different experience. This experience is unique, but this is the first time I'm standing in front of an audience after 10 months. After 10 months, an audience which is in person, face to face. Though in the last 10 months, I have spoken in many webinars, web conferences, virtual meetings, etc. But this is the first time I'm standing in front of an audience, face to face after 10 months. So I think this is definitely a great moment for me personally to be back in the midst of an audience. But the irony is, I'm going to talk about a subject which is about virtual facilitation. So interestingly, otherwise I could have done this session virtually, talking about how to facilitate sessions virtually, but I'm doing it face to face. And the fact is, this is a reality that all of us are going to accept and deal with as we move forward. As we step into 2021, I would like to wish you all a very happy new year. Thank you very much. And as we step into this new year, all of us know that we are also heading into a new world, which will have new norms and new regulations. When about 10 months ago, the COVID-19 pandemic hit us badly, many professionals in the academic world were hoping that we will go back to the old world. When I was talking to some of my colleagues in organizations, professional colleagues, professional friends, faculty members in different academic institutions, the general mood was, well, it's about a couple of months. This is the month of March. By May, we'll be all back in offices and in our academic institutions, and we'll be back to normal. But I think in a few months after the onset of COVID-19, all of us realized that it is here to stay for a long time. It's not just here to stay for a long time, it's also changed the rules of the game. It's going to rewrite the rules of the new world. It's going to challenge many of the paradigms that we have, many of the mindsets, beliefs that we had. And we are actually today in a new world. And this new world, people call it phygital. It's a blend of a physical world and a digital world. This is where we are experiencing Industry 4.0, which is a blend of physical, digital, and also the blend of biological. The differences have become very blurred. It's very difficult to distinguish between the physical world, the biological world, the digital world, and so on. In this phygital world, one thing which is going to be common and consistent is a lot of things will happen. You're asking a question? I saw a couple of hands going up. No? Okay. So, a lot of things are going to be a combination of physical and digital, and a lot of things are going to be virtual, online, on the go, on the move, and one important component of that is going to be virtual interaction. And all of us are going to experience this virtual interaction more and more. So virtual webinars, seminars, web conferences, virtual facilitation, virtual classroom training is going to be the reality of our life. Will this continue forever? Yes. But is this going to be the only norm? No. We will go back to physical classroom, we will have interactions, but this is here to stay. This is not going to go back. This is not here as a temporary phenomenon, it's going to stay with us forever. That's why we have chosen this topic, how to become more effective in virtual facilitation, how to really deliver an engaging virtual classroom session. So that's all about our session today. I think I've got about 35 minutes and we'll have maybe 5 to 10 minutes towards the end for Q&A. At any point in time, if you think I'm exceeding the time limit, you give me a warning so that I understand that I need to finish early. Now let's get started. Let's know each other a little better. There are so many of you in this room. I don't think we can, really talk to each one of you and find out, who you are and what is your experience and background. But I'm assuming all of you are faculty members of this university. Okay, so that's a right assumption. My question to all of you would be, do you all have experience in virtual classroom facilitation? All of you, okay. My next question is, has this been an interesting experience or a challenging experience or an exciting experience? All the three? Okay, so then I think we are together in this. All right, so as we move on, I don't think I have to talk about it. The introduction has already been given. So now, my dear faculty members, what is this debate about physical classroom training and virtual classroom training? Why do we have this debate in the first place? So what is this debate about physical and virtual classroom training? Why is there so much of debate? Why we need to sit here and I am standing in front of you to talk about this? Okay, let's start with the challenges that we face in virtual classroom training today. I don't know, people who are sitting at the back can read my slide. Can you? Wonderful. Okay. So, my dear friends, these are some of the common concerns and questions that come up when we talk about virtual classroom facilitation. How do I read the non-verbal cues from the learners? I can't see them. Whether they're interested, disinterested, happy, unhappy, how do I read that? How do I know my learners paying attention or not? How do I gain learner confidence? They can't see me, I can't see them. How do I gain their confidence? I can do all sorts of magic when I'm standing in front of an audience. Use my charisma, use my personality, but I can't do all of this in the virtual classroom. How do I gain their confidence? How do I grab and retain their attention? How do I keep my presentation engaging? How do I pay attention to individual learners? How do I know when to slow down and when to speed up? In the physical classroom, I know I can read the body language, I can get the cues on their face. If they're following, I probably would want to move fast. If they're not following me, I would like to slow down, spend more time explaining concepts, etc. But how do I do that in the virtual classroom? How do I keep the energy levels of participants high? How do I keep my self-motivation high? Sometimes I find it boring, monotonous, challenging. How do I keep my self-motivation high as a facilitator? How do I deal with the technical glitches during this session? The network not working, the broadband connection going down, and slide share is not happening, blah, blah, blah. How do I deal with the absence of touch and feel? The absence of touch and feel. I can walk up to the participant, shake hands, feel the warmth of the participant, but that's not possible in a virtual environment. But how do I still deal with the absence of that? How do I know the learners are following me? How do I build rapport with my learners whom I can't see? These are the list of concerns that facilitators talk about. Would you like to add anything to this list? Any other challenge that you have come across? Yes.
How do I compete with thousands of other videos that are there in the same system, YouTube or social media?
Oh yeah, there are so many other attractions for the participants. When I'm speaking, there is a great speaker also on YouTube talking on the same topic. I can search for that video and then watch that video. How do I compete with other participants? What else? Any other challenge? You have to respond to me. How do I know whether they have understood me? I think I have included that. How do I know if they're following me or not? Okay, but good point. Any other challenge? Great question. So are they physically present or physically absent? So they are there, but they're not there. They're not there, but they're there. How do we really distinguish between the two? Wonderful. So all of us are grappling with the challenges as virtual training facilitators. But why there is so much of fuss about virtual training? In spite of the challenges, we must know how to deal with the challenges. Why there is so much of fuss about virtual training? Because learning neither happens in the classroom, in the physical classroom, nor does it happen in the virtual classroom. Where does it happen? It doesn't happen here. It doesn't happen there. Where does it happen? Sorry? It happens within. Somebody said it's happened in the mind. It happens in the brain. Learning happens in the brain. Right? The sensory cortex of the brain receives information. Our sense organs receive information. The temporal lobe of the brain processes information. They reflect on the information. The prefrontal cortex of the brain creates new hypotheses, new ideas. The motor cortex in the brain applies, tests, tries those new hypotheses, new ideas that we create in our brain. So our brain receives information through sense organs. It reflects on the information. So when I say information, the brain receives sound bites, pictures, information, words, through various sense organs. We smell, we taste something, we hear something, we see something, we receive information, then we reflect on the information. It reflects on the inputs that we have received. What did I see? What happened? Why it happened? What could have happened differently? What I could have done differently? Reflection. Reflection drives learning. Once we reflect on what we receive, we then create our own hypotheses, our own ideas, plans, concepts, and so on. And we want to try what we create. We want to try what we create. We want to apply. So these are the 4 steps in the learning process: gathering, reflection, creation, and testing, active testing.